The ANC in KwaZulu-Natal expected to announce its premier candidate in Durban following the resignation of Sihle Zikalala last week. So the contestants or the front runners are Nomusa Dube-Ncube, who is an MEC, as well as Bani and Mbali Fraizer, who are both in the provincial legislature. Let's get a sense of what the way forward may look like. Bring in political commentator Tebogo Khaas, who joins us via our video link this morning. Great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks very much indeed, as always, for making time. We'll speak about these shortlisted candidates in just a moment. I was hoping to get your reflections first on part of what Sihle Zikalala said in his resignation. So he went as far as to dismiss assertions that he had essentially sold the former president, Jacob Zuma, out. And I guess that was important because many believe that's actually what led to his downfall. I wonder whether or not you agree with that sentiment, the fact that this is what cost Zikalala his job, and what you make of his decision to highlight this on his way out. I mean, why do that if you're resigning anyway?
Yeah, good morning, Ayanda, and thanks you for having me. Certainly, you know, the fact that Sihle Zikalala had to raise the Jacob Zuma monkey off on his shoulder on his way out clearly shows the importance or the role played by the president, the former president in KZN politics, at least, and the fact that he had been ostracized for his seeming closeness or cooperation with the current president of the ANC has really showed how fickle politics are, especially in KZN.
Yeah. Interesting you say that, because for many others, this is also a bit of a deja vu moment. I mean, it was back in 2016 when Zikalala's supporters ousted, I think it was Willis Mkhune. And so there's this feeling that Sihle Zikalala has in some ways fallen on his own sword here. And I wonder whether you reckon we're now starting to see a pattern, or is it still early to tell?
I think the pattern has long set in. It is just crystallizing, because if you look at the KZN politics, it's actually reflective of the national politics of the ANC, in the sense that you don't have individuals who actually lead based on principles or on a set of economic or political offerings that they make to the populace. Instead, it is all politics of the personality. Here the personality is the big man, and the big man in the name of former President Jacob Zuma. And it is for this reason that we find everybody seemingly coalescing around the former president to try and get his anointment to be able to lead KZN at least. But also more importantly, it is the fact that the now resigned former Minister of Health,
Zweli
Mkhize, has actually also come back to actually exert his influence on KZN politics, to the extent that the so-called, I can't remember if it's the Taliban that are now supposedly at the helm in KZN.
Yeah.
They seem to have had some blessing of sort of or backroom dealings with him to gain his support and traction in KZN. But be that as it may, none of the candidates who are currently earmarked or cited for possible appointment as new KZN premier are any different to Sihle Zikalala, because in terms of what they offer, we don't know what they offer per se. All we know is that they are all female. It's a good thing that we see female coming, but also the most important thing out of that is also how long are they going to still be premier? Are they caretaker premiers until the next elections, or will they still be female premiers after the elections? I doubt if they'll still be premier. They'll still occupy that position should the ANC prevail after the 2024 elections.
You've really preempted my next question. I mean, you know, part of what many of us are wondering is why not just put Siboniso Duma there in the event that the ANC is in fact able to get a majority in 2024, which means that he's likely to be the guy who becomes premier, because we also know of this ancient old discussion around the two centers of power, and that's why many people weren't even surprised that Sihle Zikalala resigned last week.
You know, one gains a sense that the current ANC KZN chair, I keep forgetting his name.
Siboniso Dube.
Yes, he seemed to not really be keen on the job, quite honestly. He seems to be a reluctant leader, but it would make sense for him to actually, if he is going to be the nominee for premiership after 2024, if the ANC continues to win the KZN elections come 2024, that he starts now so that he can actually learn the ropes and be able to understand what it is to feel or to be in government. And yes, the issue of two centers of power, it does come into play, but not so much. As long as the power, there's understanding that the separation of powers in terms of those who are running the ANC in government and those who are running the party in the province. And it has happened fairly smoothly in other areas, such as we've seen in Gauteng. And I think the whole issue of two centers of power has been overplayed to the extent that, in fact, I think it's been exaggerated. It was an exaggeration at the time to try and get rid of former President Thabo Mbeki to let somebody else favorable to President Zuma take the helm. So, quite honestly, it's a non-issue. The question is, will the current KZN leader be ready to take over the helms come 2024? Or are we still going to find somebody new who's trying to learn the ropes now being infused or introduced come 2024?
Yeah, and that's, again, if the ANC manages to retain that crucial majority in KwaZulu-Natal. Real concerns about that given how the local government elections fared. But the other obvious question to be asked this morning is, what next for Sihle Zikalala? I mean, the Sunday papers spoke about some conversations that he's allegedly having behind closed doors with the president, and there are insiders, we're told, who are suggesting that Sihle Zikalala, because of his loyalty to Cyril Ramaphosa, may in fact be brought into cabinet to replace Ayanda Jojo, who was Public Service and Administration Minister and went to the World Bank. If that is true, is that a wise political move?
I doubt it would be a very wise political move for the president to do that because, one, it would certainly confirm the rumors or the claims that Sihle Zikalala sold out when he in fact claims that he did not sell out. So by doing that and acceding, Sihle Zikalala himself will also be feeding into those allegations that he sold out to president, to anybody else for that matter. And secondly, the other question is Sihle Zikalala a minister material? Is it somebody who should really be elevated to a position of national importance, such as a ministry? I doubt if Sihle Zikalala would acquit himself well in any ministerial position, no matter the portfolio. And it just clearly shows the lack of depth if the ANC were to consider Zikalala to fill in the position left by former Minister Ayanda Jojo. And certainly one cannot rule it out completely in any event because knowing the ANC, nothing surprises us anymore.
No vote of confidence from you. Tebogo Khaas, thanks very much indeed for your time. Really do appreciate your take on this. We're expecting the announcement of this preferred candidate at around 10 o'clock today. Tebogo Khaas is a political commentator. Once again, thanks very much indeed for your time.